I had a few different videos planned to come out this week, but something came up that is really important that I thought needed to be shared first. Now, this is going to answer some questions about where you can ride your bike legally, and also, I really want to make sure you stay tuned all the way to the end because you have a chance right now to open up more trails to electric bikes. You can do something, and I'll show you how to do it in this video, that could open more trails for electric bikes. Now, before I get into this, if you have not subscribed, I checked on the last video, 85% of you watching are interested in e-bikes, have electric bikes, but you are not subscribed to my channel. So make sure to click that subscribe button before you go any further, because if you have any interest at all in electric bikes, then you definitely need to be subscribed right here. Now, to answer the first question, can you ride an electric bike in a national park? In years past, the answer was actually no. But I have some good news. You are allowed to ride an e-bike in a national park, basically anywhere that you can ride a traditional bicycle. Now, at times in the past, they were considering electric bicycles a motorized vehicle, which we know it's not really the same as a motorized vehicle by definition. Usually that's referring to motorcycles and cars and ATVs and that sort of thing. An electric bike doesn't really fit into that category. So here is the official memorandum from, am I even saying that word right? I don't know. From the United States Department of the Interior. So this is something that happened somewhat recently in August of 2019. So here there was a big discussion about e-bikes and should they be allowed in national parks, and thankfully the answer in the end was yes. An e-bike is a 2 or 3 wheeled cycle with fully operable pedals, so it must have pedals, and an electric motor of less than 750 watts that provides propulsion assistance. They actually use the definitions of class 1, 2, and 3 e-bikes here. So class 1, limited to 20 miles an hour, and it says that you have to be pedaling. So if you're not pedaling, it cannot provide assistance. Class 2, the motor may be used exclusively to propel the bicycle. So that means a throttle is allowed in that case. It's not capable of providing assistance when the bicycle reaches 20 miles an hour, so same speed limit. Now you go up to the class 3, and you have to be pedaling, so there's no provision for a throttle unless you're pedaling, then you could use a throttle, but that kind of defeats the purpose. And ceases to provide assistance when the bicycle reaches the speed of 28 miles an hour. So there's the 3 classes. It says devices with electric motors of 750 watts or more of power and not included in class 1, 2, or 3 should be managed as motor vehicles. So motor vehicles are allowed on park roads and on roads and areas designated for off-road motor vehicle use. So if you have a bike that's turned all the way up to, 1,000 or 1,500 watts, bear in mind that you should only stick to the areas designated for off-road vehicle use. If you're 750 watts or less, then you can ride anywhere a bicycle is allowed. There's the answer to the first part of this video. Can you ride an e-bike in a national park? Fortunately, as of August of 2019, yes, you can. Are there places where you can't ride electric bikes? Well, you see, the national parks are managed by the United States Department of the Interior, whereas the national forests are the Department of Agriculture. So it's a different department. So this rule does not apply to national forests because they are considered a motor vehicle. You may not agree with that, but that's the definition, how it is. So where there are trails designated for mountain bikes or bicycles in a national forest, you cannot ride your e-bike there. Now, let's move on to one more. Hopefully we'll get back to that and that'll change one day. But here's what you can change right now. So the BLM is an agency within the United States Department of the Interior, just like the national parks, and it's responsible for administering public lands with oversight of over 247 million acres. It governs 1/8 of the country's land mass. So that's a huge amount of land that's covered there. Now, are mountain bikes allowed on BLM land? Absolutely. Not only that, check this out. Here you have the top 20 mountain bike opportunities on BLM land. And they give you links to places in Arizona, California, Colorado, Idaho, Nevada, New Mexico, Oregon, Utah, Virginia, Wyoming. All of these places have designated trails for mountain bikes. Now, I specified mountain bikes because currently, according to the BLM, electric bikes, like national forests, are classified as motorized vehicles. So if you want to ride your electric bike on BLM land right now, today, you cannot unless you go into an area that's designated specifically for off-highway vehicles, so OHV, that's an acronym for off-highway vehicles, you'll see. So in fact, it says right here on their website, motorized areas and trails. Search for an open OHV area or motorized trail to ride your e-bike. You cannot ride your electric bike on mountain biking trails on BLM land today. However, here's the big news, and here's where you can do something to help. This is where I need your help because this is really, really important. As of April 2nd of 2020, the BLM has issued a press release seeking public comment on proposed e-bike regulations. So let me read a little bit of that to you. The Bureau of Land Management today announced a 60-day public comment period on proposed electric bike or e-bike regulations intended to make it easier for more Americans to recreate on and experience their public lands. E-bikes have small electric motors that help with pedaling, make bicycle travel easier for people with disabilities, younger children, and people who aren't experienced mountain bikers. So they have the definitions, 1 horsepower or less, that's 750 watts or less. It says they currently manage e-bikes as off-highway vehicles. As a result, there is some uncertainty among e-bike users as to where they may ride their bikes on BLM-managed public land. As a remedy, the proposed rule would amend the BLM's current off-road vehicle regulations to add a definition for e-bikes compatible with Secretarial Order 3376, increasing recreational opportunities through the use of electric bikes. This proposed change would then give local BLM land managers the authority to use that definition to conduct their own lawful decisions on whether e-bikes may be operated on public lands in their jurisdictions. So this 60-day comment period will end on June 9th, but I would recommend doing this right now. And like I said, I will show you how to do this. Now, you don't have to be an expert on electric bikes to do this. You don't have to be an expert on land management. You just have to have some common sense. This is, again, open for public comment. Anyone can do this. You can view the other comments. So we can see here there are 284 comments. I'm sure there are thousands watching this video. Let's get more than 284 comments in favor of electric bikes being used on BLM land. Now, I'm not going to direct you on what exactly you should say because that's up to you. And I'm not going to show you what I'm going to say. But just as a general rule, I think if we just kind of follow the guidelines that have already been provided or used for national parks, I think those same things could be done for BLM land. If you have a reasonable class 1, 2, or 3 e-bike, it makes perfect sense to me. You should be able to use that where everyone else can ride their standard mountain bike. Now, if there's some trails that are designated for, horseback riding or other specific things or hiking, there are some trails that just aren't well suited for bicycles at all, of any type. And it's okay if we can't ride bikes everywhere. But I think in areas where bicycles are already being ridden, then e-bikes definitely should be allowed. Now, that's just my opinion. Of course, write whatever you think makes the most sense. Now, we can read through some of the comments that are already here. 100% for allowing pedal assist e-bikes, complete access to all current and future mountain bike trails. In my 2 years of owning and riding a specialized Canovo pedal assist. So here's somebody who has an e-bike, and he says, I'm in favor of it. I support the use of e-bikes. I support e-bikes. As an equestrian trail user, I am against allowing e-bikes on trails that also allow stock use. So they didn't say no, but they're kind of leaning towards no. At least that's the way I read it. And there's more to that comment. You can click on it to read the whole thing. I already read that one earlier. I do not agree with this proposal. The proposal was really vague. It's kind of like it's open for comment. Let's talk about it. That's what they want here. They want your opinion. They want to know, do people want to ride e-bikes, or do people not want e-bikes on the public land? And then the decision will be made accordingly. Please allow pedal assist 1. Now, if you think that's the way they should go, then say that. If you think it should be all of them, then say that. Use your common sense, use judgment. Please allow it a minimum. Here's somebody, as an occupational therapist, I've dedicated my career to the science of rehabilitation, wellness, and accessibility. Powered e-bikes make it possible to access and enjoy BLM land. I definitely would agree with that. No mechanical anything in wilderness. That is the rule, and that is as it should be. I'm a horseback rider. Please do not authorize the use of electricized bikes. I don't know what an electricized bike is. Scooters. Nobody said anything about scooters. As a public land hunter, I strongly oppose. I find that interesting because e-bikes are growing crazy for hunters. Very popular among hunters as a safe and actually good way to get out onto trails without taking things like an ATV or other larger things. You can, I think, be easier on the land with something like that. Okay, so there you have it. That's where you can read the comments, but you don't need to read any of the comments. Of course, you're welcome to. Like I said, it's public information. You can go through that. But what you do want to do is comment. So here's what you do. Primary documents, increasing recreational opportunities through the use of electric bikes. You hit comment now. And once again, I will put a link to this in the description. So you'll have a link to all of this information. I'll make sure to put all of that there so it's really easy for you to get to. And here we go. So we've got your information. So comment, of course, required. This is where you're going to type, I am in favor of electric bikes on BLM land, whatever you want to type there. Scroll down. Upload files is optional. So if you have a photo of you on your e-bike or anything like that, you can do that. You can put your first and last name. I want to provide my contact information, submitting. Basically, you can hit continue. So fill this out. Okay, so there's a checklist right here. You can read through that document as well. And it kind of gives you an overview of what you should say or maybe shouldn't say for your comment to be effective. So if you want to make a really good, strong comment, I would recommend reading through that. And then alternate ways to comment. If you'd prefer, you can also mail something, but I think it's perfectly fine to do it this way. I know this was a little bit of a departure from my normal e-bike specific videos and giving you good information on electric bikes themselves, but I wanted to make sure that I covered this subject because I find that opening more trails is extremely important. It gives you more places you can get out and use your e-bike. And I'm not just saying this because I want more places to ride my e-bike. I genuinely think that out of my customers and the people that are watching my videos, the average ages that are buying e-bikes from me, they're not going super fast on these trails. They're not using these e-bikes like motorcycles to tear up the trails or dirt or anything crazy like that. They just want to get outside, enjoy the outdoors, and do things that maybe when they were younger they could have done on a standard bicycle, but they're not physically capable of doing so, or it doesn't make it an enjoyable activity. I think for that reason, e-bikes should definitely be allowed on BLM land. So I'm gonna comment in favor of this. I appreciate you guys sticking with me on this video and watching. We'll be back to some more fun stuff on electric bikes next week. Once again, 85% of you have not subscribed to my channel, and if you have any interest in electric bikes, there's no reason you shouldn't be subscribed. So please make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit like if you enjoyed this video, leave a comment for me below to support what's going on here and get more interaction. The more you like the video, the more people that are gonna see this, the more we're gonna have trails open up for e-bikes. And as a bonus, I will give away another Bolton e-bikes hat to someone randomly in the comment section. Thanks again for watching. I do appreciate everyone coming back and watching these videos every week, and I'll be back again next Thursday.